Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm not part of the panning community in YouTube, mostly because I can't stick to it. I did a panning project back in, I don't know, I want to say 2015, and I think I really only managed to complete 5 of the 10 products I chose. Now, that being said, I really enjoy watching panning videos and like panning posts, so I thought I would just go ahead and do one. Now, these are items that I have hit pan on, but that I don't really have like an intended finish date. So this is just stuff that I can see the bottom of the tunnel with. And if you are interested in the makeup that I'm wearing today, I did post a video on it last week as a collaboration with Samantha Jane, so I will have a link to that somewhere around here for you to go and take a look. All right, we're gonna start this off with kind of an exciting product for me. I have never managed to hit pan on a blush before until now, and that would be Tarte's Exposed Blush. There's not a whole lot of it, but it is there. This was actually one of the first few blushes that I owned, and which is not that long ago, I'm gonna guess 5, maybe 6 years. So yes, the product's a little bit old at this point. But it's one of the easiest to wear, especially for me in the winter. I just love, it's kind of a taupey rose flush, and at first look, I know I thought it wasn't that interesting, but it goes on the cheeks really well. And obviously I quite enjoy it because I've managed to hit pan on it. Now, something I go through a little bit more regularly would be bronzer, and I usually finish about 1 bronzer a year. That's not necessarily focusing on the bronzer, that's just sort of how it ends up in my collection, because I do change what bronzer I use on a pretty regular basis. But this one has kind of outlasted a lot of them because I've used it quite a bit, and it's just, I've hit pan, but it's not gone very far. And that is the NYC Sun and Bronze Bronzing Powder in the shade Fire Island Tan. And you can see that it's got different strips of color, and I mostly just start in the center and swirl out. But this sucker has like held on for a really long time because a few years ago I was using it as pretty much my only bronzer throughout the summer. And there's 12 grams of product, so it's a little bit more than a normal size bronzer, but yeah, I love this one. Another product that I tend to use up pretty regularly, so it's not really a surprise that I've hit pan on it, would be a black gel liner. And the one I'm currently using is the MAC Blacktrack Fluidline, and you can see the pan there. I will say that in more recent days I've been using a lot more liquid liner, so this is taking a little bit longer to actually go down. But I'm pretty sure by the end of the year this guy will be gone. All right, another one that has a little bit of pan on it is the NYX Tame & Frame, and this is the shade Blonde. I always want to say taupe because I always screw it up with the Anastasia one. I don't love this one as much as I do the Anastasia one because I feel like it's a little bit stiffer, and actually I also think that there's more product in here because the well to get to the bottom is quite down there. But I'm kind of at the point right now where I refuse to buy the Anastasia one again, which I already have finished up, until I get to the bottom of this one. It is a little bit stiff though, so I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to give up and end up buying the Anastasia one, but we'll see how far this one goes. All right, the next one's kind of, I don't know if it counts as a cheating, although I guess we make our own rules up for this, but it's the MAC Mineralize Skinfinish in Soft and Gentle, and this was the very first highlighter I ever owned. Now, looking at it in the viewfinder, I'm not really sure if you can tell, but I'll insert a close-up shot. Now, the terracotta pot that it sits on is wearing away on the side, and there's a huge like divot through the middle of it where I constantly swipe it with my brush. I can understand why I've managed to hit some sort of pan on this highlighter though, because for years I think this was the only one I owned, and then more recently I kind of got into like Becca highlighters and stuff like that, but yeah, I still reach for this pretty consistently, at least once a week. And if I had to guess, I'm gonna say that this will probably be the first highlighter I ever managed to finish, but I can't imagine actually finishing a highlighter. Like, it sounds ridiculous, but that's like a life goal right there. That'd be pretty intense. All right, the next 2 items that I've hit pan on are from my Urban Decay Naked palette. And this was the first palette I ever owned, so it makes a lot of sense why I've hit pan on these 2 shades. And they are, the most obvious ones, I guess, would be Virgin, and then the other one is Toasted right there. I'm a big fan of this palette, and I know people will argue with me about this, but I have never found a dupe for Virgin, and a lot of people used to compare it to MAC's Shroom. I don't agree. I think they look totally different on my lid, and this is probably my favorite like pinky ivory like lid color, And when I run out of it, there's a high chance that I'll probably just buy the single because I can't find a dupe for it that I think is suitable. And then Toasted is just a shade that I end up reaching for a lot to put in my upper crease because it's quite a good blending shade. All right, the brand that I've definitely hit the most pan on over the years, hands down, has to be MAC Cosmetics. I've run through so many of the eyeshadow pans over the years that I couldn't even tell you all the ones that I've finished. I'm gonna run through them a little bit quickly though, because I have 11 of them and that's kind of a lot. All right, so a quad that I keep handy all the time because I use it quite frequently and hence has a lot of pan on it would be, I have Cork up here, Print there, and then Crystal Avalanche, and Blanc Type is here, but I haven't hit pan on it yet. And then I have a pressed pigment, which is Landscape Green. Another pressed pigment, I believe this one's called Midnight, but I would have to make sure and I'll just annotate it somewhere. This one that I'm very near finishing is All That Glitters. Another fan favorite, this one is Naked Lunch. One that I don't hear talked about anymore, and I suspect because the pigmentation is not that great on this one. This is Parfait Amour. You guys might cringe at this one. This is called Shag, and they don't make it anymore. This guy could be, do I want to say? Probably close to 20 years old. And it still works fine. And the last one I have is Nylon, which is quite infamous at this point. It's a really shiny, pale yellow gold. All right, so that's it for this video. This is all the products that I've hit pan on relatively recently. I mean, some of them, I could have hit pan on them a while ago, but still. These are all the products that I currently own that I can see some pan happening on them. Let me know what you've hit pan on recently because I kind of like to hear what everyone else is using, especially when they're like larger products. I like when it's like a compact or something like that. Why is this exciting to us? Anyway, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.